Good morning, Dr. Miller.
Good morning.
Dr. Miller, would you please describe for the jury what you do for a living, sir?
I'm a reproductive endocrinologist, and what I do is I help couples achieve a pregnancy.
And, sir, can you tell the jury a little bit about where you went to medical school?
I went to medical school at Wayne State University in Detroit.
In Detroit, Michigan, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
And, sir, after attending medical school or the latter part of medical school, did you join the Navy?
Yes.
And can you...
Yeah, I was in a program where they paid for the medical school, and I paid back the time to the Navy. I did my internship in San Diego and then my residency and fellowship in Bethesda Naval Hospital.
And when you were at Bethesda, were you a reproductive endocrinologist then, sir?
Yes, I was.
And from Bethesda, where did you go to practice?
After I got out of the Navy, I went to RMA of New Jersey.
You went to where, sir?
RMA of New Jersey.
And did there come a time before you came to RMA that you met a gentleman named Dr. Richard Scott?
Yes. Dr. Scott was my mentor when I was in the military. He was the one who sort of supervised the clinical activities of the fellowship. And then he got out of the military and went to start. He went to join St. Barnabas and then finally RMA.
And, sir, what year did you join RMA?
July of 2000.
And RMA of New Jersey, what offices were you working out of, sir?
Morristown, and a few times I worked out of West Orange.
And did you ever work out of the Somerset office, sir?
Well, at that point, the Somerset office didn't exist.
And eventually when it opened?
Yeah, I went to Somerset probably in 2003.
Sir, would you tell the jury, are you married?
Yes, I am.
And what's your wife's first name?
Charla.
And do you have children, sir?
I have 3 children. I have twins that are 4.5 and a son that's 7.
And the twins are girls, sir?
Twin girls, yes, ma'am.
Now, do you know a woman named Melanie McGuire?
Yes, I do.
And, sir, where did you meet her?
At RMA, we worked together at the Morristown office.
And you said you started at RMA in approximately 2000?
Yes, I did.
And would that be the same time that you met Miss McGuire?
Yes, I believe I met her once before at a meeting in San Francisco in 1998. We all were at the same dinner together.
Now, sir, can you initially, back in 2000 to 2002, prior to when your relationship changed with Miss McGuire, the initial stages, can you describe to the jury what was your relationship with her?
We worked together. A lot of my patients had her as their nurse, and she was an excellent nurse. She took very good care of the patients. They all loved her. She always was willing to take on extra responsibility. I mean, we started a gestational carrier program. We also started a program called PGD, which required extra work, and she was always somebody who just rose to the challenge and took on the extra responsibility.
And, sir, did there come a time when your relationship with Miss McGuire got more intimate?
Yes, it did.
And when did that begin, sir?
It was towards the end of her second pregnancy. She was about 38 weeks pregnant. And before she went on maternity leave, we had oral sex in the office.
And when you say the office, sir, which office was it?
My office.
And could you describe for the jury, please, Dr. Miller, who pursued who?
Well, I don't know if I can be accurate, but I know that she had, gotten me a birthday cake and had bought me a small gift for Christmas. We exchanged emails. I think we were always flirtatious, both of us, in the office. So I don't know if I could say one over the other. I think we were both at fault.
And when your relationship first started, when your relationship first became intimate, was Mrs. McGuire confiding in you and you in her?
Absolutely, yes.
And, sir, can you describe to the jury at the beginning of your intimate relationship with Miss McGuire, how did she describe her marriage to you?
She didn't really have any complaints about the marriage. I know that they had argued. I heard her at least yelling on the phone. So I know they had, at least vocal arguments on occasion. But she didn't have any specific complaints about Bill or the marriage at that time.
Now, you described, sir, that this first sexual act happened when the defendant was approximately 38 weeks pregnant?
Yes, it did.
And did it continue after her child was born?
Yes, it did.
And, sir, you said it started in 2002. Could you describe to the jury approximately when it ended?
The affair?
Yes.
Well, I would say it ended after the police investigation.
Now, let's go back again. Could you please, Dr. Miller, share with the jury, how was it that the two of you were able to have this affair? When did you find time?
It was difficult. We sometimes would see each other in the office. We would sometimes go out for lunch. Sometimes leave work a little early. Or on a day off, we would spend half a day together.
Would you spend evenings together, sir?
No, we typically never would spend the evening together. The only exceptions would be if we had a evening function, some type of meeting to go to. We may have stopped at a hotel after the meeting was over. But for the most part, in the evenings, she had to go home and pick up her children at a specific time, and I went home and started helping out with our family, my kids.
And did you and your family have a regular evening routine?
Yeah, typically I would get home from work around 6 or 6:30. We'd have dinner. I'd clean up the kitchen, start the dishwasher. Then we'd sort of rally the kids upstairs for a bath, and my wife would primarily take care of the girls. They were about 2 at the time, and I would take care of my son and get his pajamas on, get him into bed, read a story to him, and usually watch a movie until he fell asleep.
Now, when you say they were 2 at the time, you're referring to around
girls.
2004?
Yep.
And, sir, specifically directing your attention now to April of 2004, were you in love with the defendant?
Absolutely, yes, I was.
And I apologize, Your Honor. Dr. Miller, I'm going to ask you to look around this courtroom and tell the court and the jury if you see Melanie McGuire in the courtroom today.
Yes, I do. She's sitting right there.
Indicating the defendant, sir.
So noted.
Were you in love with the defendant?
Yes, I was.
And did she tell you she was in love with you?
Yes, she did.
Now, sir, did your wife know that you were having an intimate relationship with the defendant?
No, she did not.
How about Dr. Scott?
I think Dr. Scott had suspicions, but anytime he asked me about it, I denied it.
And why did you deny it, sir?
Well, I would assume that one of us would be losing our jobs if we had admitted to an affair.
Did your wife ever ask you about it?
She had questions or suspicions, but I always reassured her and said that nothing was going on.
And sir, you said that the defendant confided in you,
Yes.
and in April of 2004, had the two of you discussed future plans together?
Yes, we were hoping to be together in the future, to buy a house close to my other house and have kids together.
Now, when you say you were hoping to be together,
Yes.
can you be more specific for the jury, sir?
Well, that she was going to divorce Bill, and then a while later I was going to divorce Charla, and the two of us would marry, buy a house, and ultimately have children.
You had discussed even having children, sir?
Yes.
And had the defendant at that time expressed concerns, at that time or before, expressed concerns about going through a divorce with Bill McGuire?
Yes, she did. She had told me that she felt that, or she was told by Bill that if she ever got a divorce, that he would take the kids and disappear and she would never see her children again.
And, sir, had you ever heard Bill McGuire say that?
No, I have not.
Sir, had you met Bill McGuire?
Yes, I have on multiple occasions.
And can you describe those occasions to the jury?
We went together as a family on at least 2 occasions to the Rockettes for the Christmas show. Bill was over for a poker party at my house. The entire family had been over to my house for cookouts. And we saw each other at the holiday parties at the office.
You mentioned a poker party, sir.
Yes, I did.
Was it a big money game?
No.
Can you describe it to the jury?
Probably 5 or 6 guys, quarters, dollar. I mean, I think the winner walked out with $20 and the loser lost about $20.
And, sir, in your presence, had Bill McGuire, how did he act towards his wife on those occasions that you saw him with the defendant?
He acted affectionate. He would, try to or have his arm around her or hold her hand.
And, sir, how did it make you feel seeing
Pretty
Bill?
Uncomfortable.
Now, you said the defendant confided in you, sir.
Yes, she did.
Would she share with you when she had sex with her husband?
She did. There was 3 occasions she told me after her second child was born that they had sex together.
Did she describe the sex to you, sir?
Yes.
Precioso, let's move on to something more relevant.
Sir, did there come a time in April, the end of April of 2004, when you were aware that Bill McGuire and the defendant were going to purchase a home?
Yes, I was.
And, sir, did the defendant discuss with you that upcoming purchase?
Yes, they had found a home and put a bid out on a home. They were trying to make arrangements for a mortgage. Apparently, the one mortgage was not enough. They had to apply for a second mortgage. And according to an email that she showed me from Bill, that they were not approved for a second mortgage. And that she didn't think that the closing was going to be able to be completed.
Now, sir, as the closing approached, did you and the defendant discuss where she was going to be living at the end of the month?
Yes, again, her impression was that the closing was not going to occur, and she had been looking for apartments online, and that she had, had several different possibilities. She had to be out of the one apartment by the end of the month, or the end of May. And she had been looking for new apartments, and she told me it was going to be for her and the boys, and that she was going to tell Bill she wanted a divorce.
And how did you feel about that?
I felt good. I thought that was the direction that we wanted to move in for the relationship.
And, sir, I'd like to call your attention specifically to the date of the closing, April 28th, 2004. Did you speak with the defendant that day?
Yes, I did, multiple occasions.
And can you describe those conversations to the jury?
The first one, she called me in the morning, and she said that they were going to go to the lawyer's office and find out what the status of the closing was going to be. She didn't feel like the closing was going to occur. She was having a very short conversation with me. She said Bill was getting a haircut at the time, and that she would call me back later in the day. I would say probably around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, she had called me and informed me that they had closed on the house. She sounded upset. She said she had called her mother previously, and her mother had told her she was doing the right thing. She told me that she didn't know she was going into the closing, that she thought they were just there to talk to the lawyer, but the seller's lawyer was there. She started signing the papers, and the closing was done. I became upset. I started yelling at her. I said, you should go back in there and rip up the papers, because why do you want to buy a $500,000 house if you ultimately want to get divorced from Bill? This just doesn't make any sense.
When you spoke to her and said that, the closing had already occurred,
Yes.
according to what the defendant told you?
Yes.
And did you speak to her again later that day?
She had called me back. I was in a meeting and the phone rang, and she was on the way home from the closing. I could hear Bill in the car. He was on his cell phone, and she just said, don't worry, everything's going to be fine, and that she would call me later.
And did she in fact call you later?
Yeah, she called me in the evening. She said Bill had some wine. He was sleeping on the couch, and that when he woke up, they were going to have a discussion about the house, whether or not they were going to move into the house, about the relationship, whether or not they were going to continue in the relationship or seek a divorce, and that she'd let me know in the morning what the result of all this was.
Now, sir, before we move on to the morning of the 29th, can you describe to the jury what was the frequency of your phone contact with the defendant? Specifically, let's talk about the period of April 2004. What was your regular patterns?
We would probably, call each other 10 to 20 times a day.
And how, on what phones would you be speaking?
I had purchased a family plan phone, so there was a phone for me and a phone for her, and there were no charges for any time that a call was made between those two phones.
And these phones that you just described, you purchased them specifically so you could communicate with
Yes,
the
I did.
defendant?
Yep.
And beyond speaking on those cellular phones, and by the way, do you remember the plan, whether it was Verizon, Singular, T-Mobile? Do you recall, sir?
I believe it was T-Mobile.
And besides speaking on those cell phones that you specifically purchased for that purpose,
Right.
were there other phones that you spoke on as well?
Well, we both had our own. I had my work phone through RMA. She had another cell phone that she used. On occasion, we'd call each other on that. And then from the Somerset office and her office in Morristown, we would call each other on a T1 line, which was just basically an intercom between those two offices. So if we were both in the office, we could have spoke many more times than that during the day. Not just about our relationship, but about patients and business and such.
And am I correct, sir, that when you were on phones within the RMA offices, that of course wouldn't be reflected on your
No.
cellular phone
It's
records?
like dialing intercom between inter offices, even though they were separate physical buildings.
So your cellular phone records don't represent all the contact you had with the
No,
defendant,
it's
but
probably
some of it.
underestimated.
And, sir, you mentioned that you spoke not only about your relationship, but about patients.
Yes.
Can you describe to the jury, were you assigned to work anything specifically together with the defendant?
Yes, we were both overseeing a gestational carrier program where women who cannot successfully deliver a child or cannot deliver a child on their own, we oversaw that program.
And did that require you to speak to the defendant?
Yes, there was one day that we reserved for just those patients, and we saw those patients on one day in Somerset.
And, sir, how would you describe the defendant's work ethic with regard to the projects you worked on together?
Outstanding.
Now, I'd like to move on now to April 29th, 2004. Can you describe to the jury your first contact or attempted contact with the defendant?
I got up about 4:45. I was going in to work out at the YMCA, and I called her on our cell phone lines and just left a message on her voicemail just saying I loved her, I hope that she's doing well, and to call me when she can.
Now, do you recall approximately how early that was?
It was about 5 a.m. in the morning.
And are you normally up that early, sir?
Yes.
Can you just describe for the jury what was your normal routine in April
Normal
and May?
routine would be to wake up between 4:30 and 4:45 in the morning, get up, put up some workout clothes on, and then go into the YMCA at 5. And I would usually read the paper on a stationary bike for about 20 minutes to 30 minutes, shower, and go right into work because I had to be at work, by 6, and I usually showed up at 5:55 or so.
So you left a message for the defendant that morning. And can you describe to the jury what your next contact was with her, sir?
Melanie called me around 9 o'clock in the morning. She sounded upset. She told me that Bill had left. She went into more detail. She told me that when he woke up, they had a fight about the house. He basically said, go ahead and have your house. If you're not happy with me or happy with the house, I'm going to leave. The dispute became physical. He pushed her up against the wall. He put a dryer sheet in her mouth, and I believe she said that he was even choking her. At that point, her youngest had woken up and was crying. She said that she grabbed JT and locked herself in the bathroom. And I think it happened somewhere around 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. And from that point, she just kept herself locked in the bathroom, and she heard activity throughout the apartment, and then she finally heard the door shut. She said that he was in the apartment for about a half hour before he left. She said before she called me, she had called Melissa Brisbane, who's a reproductive lawyer who we work with in the gestational carrier program. And she said that she was jittery, her heart was racing and pounding, and she wanted to know if I could prescribe her some Xanax.
And did you, sir?
Yes, as soon as I hung up the phone, I called in a prescription to a pharmacy near her for some Xanax.
Now, sir, prior to April 29th of 2004, had you ever prescribed Xanax to the defendant before?
No, I have not.
And, sir, can you describe to the jury, please, what is Xanax?
Xanax is an anti-anxiety medication.
Now, we'll come back to the prescriptions in a little while. On the 29th, continuing with April 29th, did you speak to the defendant again? Did you have further contacts with her?
Yeah, she had called back several times during the day. She said that she wanted to go back to the apartment and put some things away that she needed. She said she wanted to get to the court to file a restraining order against him. She wanted to get to daycare and make sure that Bill didn't have access to daycare to get to the kids. She said she also wanted to start looking for a divorce attorney and also look for an apartment.
And, sir, on April 29th, did you see the defendant?
I don't believe I did, no.
And obviously, sir, what she was describing to you, you didn't observe any of that either, correct?
No, I didn't observe any of that.
So these facts that you're telling the jury are what the defendant told you.
Absolutely.
Now, how about the 30th? The 30th would have been Friday, April 30th. Did you have contact with the defendant that day?
No, I do not believe so.
At all, the entire day of April
Well,
30th?
I had phone contact.
Oh,
I
I'm
didn't-
sorry.
Not personal contact.
So you didn't see her on the 30th, but did you speak with her?
Probably 20 or 30 times I spoke with her.
And do you recall what you were speaking about on the 30th, sir?
Basically, the same issues, getting a restraining order. She had told me she had waited at court and the line was long, and she just basically gave up waiting and had to go back to court to get the restraining order done. She also said that, she wanted to go back to the apartment and retrieve stuff. I just told her I didn't want her to do it alone. I asked her to have at least Celine waiting for her outside while she went and retrieved what she needed from the apartment, just in case Bill came back.
Now, who's Celine?
Celine is Melanie's best friend.
And had you met Celine, sir?
Yes, multiple occasions.
And again, on the 30th, you did not see her.
No.
Now, do you know, sir, at that time, on the 30th, where was the defendant staying?
She told me that she wanted to stay at a Red Roof Inn off of Exit 3 off of 287, just so she didn't have to go all the way to Barnegat, because she didn't want to stay in the apartment, and I agreed with that. But she wanted to stay close by so she can get all these other activities done without having to commute back and forth to Barnegat.
Now, are you referring to the Red Roof Inn that's on the border of Edison and Metuchen?
Yes.
And, sir, had you and the defendant ever stayed at that Red Roof Inn?
We did on one occasion, yes.
And can you describe that Red Roof Inn to the jury?
It's a two-story building. It has multiple buildings at the complex. All of the rooms have doors to the parking lot, so you can, drive your car right to your door and park right outside of your room.
So you can get into your room without going through a common hallway?
I didn't know that. I don't think there's any common hallways there, no.
You park outside and you can walk right in?
Yes, ma'am.
And, sir, on Saturday, May 1st, can you describe to the jury what you did in the morning?
I got up at my usual time, around 4 or 5 in the morning, and I proceeded to the Red Roof Inn, and I called her just to tell her I was heading down that way, and I wanted to find out which room she was staying in.
And so you called her very early in the morning, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you find out what room she was staying in?
Yep, she told me what room she was staying in. I went there, parked the car, knocked on the door, she opened. She was in pajamas, wearing, pants, pajamas, and like a flannel pajama set.
And what occurred at that time?
I gave her a big hug at that point and asked her if she was okay. She seemed to be very tired, sort of out of it, and she wanted to go right back to bed. And she went back into the bed, and I laid down next to her.
And, sir, were you intimate at that time?
No, we were not.
What, in fact, did the defendant do?
She went back to sleep, and at that point I had to get going to work. So I used the bathroom, and I got up and I left.
And what time approximately did you get to work that day?
Probably between 6 and 6:30.
Okay. Now, sir, before we move ahead to your work day on Saturday, can I back up and ask, did you work on Wednesday the 28th?
Yes, I did.
And did you work on Thursday the 29th?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
And did you work on Friday the 30th?
Yes, I did.
Now, that weekend, May 1st and 2nd, were you assigned to work?
Yes, I was.
Can you describe to the jury what was your assignment that weekend?
As a third call physician, you would basically come in and start egg retrieval procedures where we put the patients to sleep and retrieve their eggs. First case usually starts around 7, and we just do them every half hour until they're done. Then sometime in the afternoon, we have patients returning to have transfers done, where we put the embryos back into the uterus for them. The other responsibility would be to do what we call review, where we review the blood work and the ultrasound data for all the patients that came into the office that day, make decisions, and then the nurses would call with those results later on. We would also help out with doing inseminations or also doing ultrasounds if the other physician was backed up.
Now, was there a specific assignment that you had for that weekend?
Yeah, that was my assignment.
And is there a name for it within RMA?
Yeah, third call.
And, sir, at that time, at the end of, on May 1st and 2nd, you were a partner at RMA, correct?
That's correct.
So that weekend, you were in charge of the office?
Correct, yes.
And, sir, were you at work on May 1st, doing what you just described?
Yes, I was.
And on May 2nd?
Yes, I was.
Now, going back to when you saw the defendant in the morning in the hotel, the lighting in the room, did it permit you to observe the defendant?
Not in the room. The room lights were off. There was a light outside the room, on the porch area. I mean, I didn't see anything physically wrong with her. The TV was on in the room, and that was it.
Did you note any bruising or injuries of any sort?
No, I did not.
Now, later that day, still remaining on Saturday, May 1st, did there come a time later on Saturday, May 1st, when you saw the defendant again?
Yes, it was. We had called several times during the day. It looks like I was getting done around 2 o'clock or so with the final procedure. And I asked her if we could meet for lunch. She said, yeah, we could. She suggested going to the Menlo Park off of Route 1. She said she had to open a bank account and that she would try to make it over there as soon as she got done. I drove down to Menlo Park. I went to a deli and got us both a sandwich and sat out in Menlo Park. and I waited probably, I don't know, 20 to 30 minutes for her to show up. It was taking longer than expected to get her bank account opened.
And about what time was it when she met you in Menlo Park?
It was around 3 o'clock, 3 to 3:30.
So although it was lunch, it was a very late lunch.
Yes, ma'am, it was.
On Sunday, May 2nd, did you speak to the defendant?
Yes.
Did you see her?
No, I did not see her on the 2nd.
Counsel, can we just go to sidebar for 1 minute?
May I continue, sir?
Yes.
Doctor, just backing up for a moment, you said that you met defendant at Menlo Park.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you speaking about the park-like area adjacent to Menlo Park Mall, or are you speaking of Menlo Park in West Orange?
It's the park area close to the mall.
That may be called Roosevelt Park,
It may be.
but it's the park adjacent to the Menlo
Yes, that
Park
was the
Mall.
location. Yes.
Yes, okay. Now, coming back to May 2nd, 2004, that would be the Sunday.
Yep.
Did you see defendant that day, sir?
No, I did not.
Did you speak to her?
Yes, I'm sure I spoke to her multiple occasions.
Numerous times, the
Yep.
way you described to the jury?
Yep.
And similarly, Monday, May 3rd, did you see the defendant on Monday, May 3rd?
No, I did not.
Did you speak to her?
Yes,
And similarly, did you speak to her numerous times?
absolutely.
And on Tuesday, May 4th, did you see the defendant?
No, I did not.
Did you speak to her?
Yes, I did.
Did you speak to her numerous times?
Yes, I did.
And on Wednesday, May 5th, did
Same.
you see the defendant?
I did not see her, but I spoke to her on the phone multiple times.
And on May 6th, did you go somewhere on May 6th?
May 6th, I left for a meeting going to Dallas.
And who were you traveling with, sir?
Richard Scott.
Now, sir, I want to go back to those days, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of May of 2004 that we just described, the 2nd through the 5th.
Yes, ma'am.
Monday would have been a work day for the defendant, correct?
Yes, it would have been, but I believe she was off that whole week.
Due to the fact of what happened the week before, what she had said.
Right.
And going back for a moment to Saturday when you saw the defendant in the park, did you have an opportunity to observe her?
Yes.
And did she have any injuries, sir?
No, I didn't see any injuries on her own.
Now, you described previously that you and the defendant confided in each other, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And during this time, subsequent to her husband allegedly leaving, when you were speaking to her, were you discussing the situation with her husband?
The situation about her husband leaving?
Yes.
Yes.
And, sir, similarly, backing up even a little further, on April 26th, 2004, which would have been Monday,
Yes, ma'am.
did you work that day?
Yes, I did.
And did you speak to the defendant that day?
Yes, I did.
And Tuesday, the 27th, do you recall whether you saw the defendant that day?
I believe I did see the defendant. I believe she came to the Morristown office around noon, and we had lunch together at the office.
And you had an opportunity to speak?
Yes.
And you spoke numerous occasions, as you did every day?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Sir, in April or May of 2004, did the defendant ever tell you that she purchased a gun?
No, ma'am, she did not.
And, sir, specifically on the 26th, you said you spoke to her that day?
Yep.
And the 27th and the 28th, I won't re-ask you, but every day you spoke to her?
I had no knowledge of her purchasing a gun, no.
And, sir, in April or May of 2004, did the defendant ever tell you that she went to Atlantic City and parked her husband Bill's car at the Flamingo Hotel?
No, she did not.
And, sir, in April or May of 2004, did she ever tell you, did the defendant ever tell you that she went to Delaware to go furniture shopping?
No, she did not.
Now, sir, I'd like to back up and discuss each of those areas with you, starting with parking her husband's car at the Flamingo Motel. did there come a time when the defendant shared with you that she had done that?
Yeah, I'm guessing it might have been, June. She had a discussion with Celine, and Celine said that she should tell me what she was about to tell me. She said we needed to meet and have a discussion. We picked exit 13 off of 287, met at the McDonald's parking lot, and she just said that she had to share something with me, and that on Thursday night that she had gone down Atlantic City, that there was a particular area where they would park outside of a casino that they would frequent. Her purpose was to go down there and find his car and move his car on him because she was angry and upset that he had got up and left. The marriage left his kids. So she was able to find his car. She moved it to a different location. She said there were 2 or 3 cell phones that were on the front seat. She took the phones and had thrown them out. She told me that at that point it was late at night. She was tired. She went to a casino and hailed a cab. She asked the cab to take her back to Woodbridge. During that time, she said she got some rest and was able to sleep, and she felt like she wanted to go back and locate her vehicle. So she saw an off-duty cab at that point and hailed that cab and asked him to take her back down Atlantic City, at which time she did find her car and drove her car back to the Red Roof Inn that night. Then she said she also went down there on Saturday night around midnight with her stepfather. And again, they were going down to see if the car had been moved, if they could find out where Billy was. And they said they saw the car there, but they did not find Billy. And then the last thing she mentioned to me is the only other date that she went to Atlantic City was on the 18th. Again, just seeing if the car had been moved.
Now, sir, when she described to you putting the car at the Flamingo Hotel originally, she told you it was Thursday night into Friday?
Yes, ma'am.
And when she told you that she went with her stepfather back again to Atlantic City, did she describe around what time they went?
Yes, I thought it was around midnight of that evening.
And she told you she described it as being Saturday into Sunday?
Yes.
Sir, what about the 18th? How did she describe that?
She just went down there by herself on the 18th.
But did
and
she, I'm sorry, sir, did she use the phrase, I went on the 18th?
She said the 18th, yes.
And did she say she went on the 18th alone or with someone else?
She said she went alone. And I asked her, well, why didn't you tell me this sooner? And she told me that she didn't want me to be upset, that she didn't want me to think that she's going back to find Bill, to bring him back, and rekindle the relationship.
But she had in fact told you that she did go down looking for Bill, correct?
Yes,
And she said she didn't find him.
correct.
And the night that she explained to you that she went and put his car at the Flamingo Motel, did she say specifically she went to move his car or that she was looking for Bill?
I think both. I mean, I think she was initially looking for Bill, found the car, and she decided that she was going to, get back at him by moving the car.
And sir, when she told you this, can you approximate for the jury around when that was?
It may have been late May, early June, in that time frame.
So,
Or it was definitely after the move. So the move happened the last weekend of May, so it was June or July.
so it was definitely June or July?
Mm-hmm.
And sir, just for reference, did there come a time when you learned that Bill McGuire was dead?
Yes, she had called me, I believe it was a Wednesday. I don't remember the exact date, but she called me that the Barnegat Police Department had contacted her and that they wanted to meet with her. And that she was going to go meet with them and then call me back. And then later that evening, she called me back. She was very upset and told me that the police had informed her that Bill was dead, that he was found in the water. And she didn't give me any other details at that point.
And sir, when she was on the phone with you telling her that Bill was dead, was she crying?
Yes, she was.
Now, the move that occurred, and we'll come back to the move in a little while, you said the move was late in May,
I believe it was the last Saturday in May.
and that was Memorial Day weekend that year,
I
correct?
believe so, yes.
So you knew Bill was dead a couple of days before the move?
That's correct.
Now, when she told you this story in June about moving the car to the Flamingo Hotel and telling you the cab story that you just described to the jury, sir, what did you think?
Sustained.
Can you
The
describe?
objection was sustained.
I was going to ask a new question, sir.
All right.
Can you describe to the jury how you reacted, sir?
I'm,
His reaction to her statements, I don't think it's relevant. I also think it's a backdoor way of getting that same question out.
Yeah, please move on, Ms. Precioso. I'm going to sustain the objection again.
Did you do or say anything in response to the defendant telling you what she did?
I just told her that,
Objection, Your Honor.
Overruled.
I told her that I don't think anyone's going to believe you. I think if you want to back that story up, I would be finding out the cab driver that drove you. I would expect, there's a lot of cab drivers, obviously, in Atlantic City, but not too many of them that would drive a fare from Atlantic City up to Woodbridge on a particular night. So if they could find these two cab drivers, that would certainly...
Your Honor, I object to this. He was asked initially what he thought. So the way we got that answer out from Ms. Prezioso, and I think it's absolutely outrageous,
But
is to say, what did you say?
his conversation with the defendant is admissible.
Yes, sir. I think we're now blending conversation and his thoughts, and that's what I think he just said.
I don't think so, but Dr. Miller, let's make it clear that we're not talking about your impressions here. We're talking about your conversation and your statements with the defendant.
No, sir, this was all conversation.
Okay. Go ahead, Ms. Precioso.
Now, sir, around the time that the defendant told you about moving Bill's car to the Flamingo Hotel, were you personally aware, sir, of any reported articles in the media regarding anything about the Flamingo Hotel in relation to this investigation?
I believe at some point an article...
Relevance?
Your Honor, we could do relevance at sidebar if you like.
All right.
It is relevant. I would ask the court to allow me.
Okay. Okay, Ms. Precioso, please proceed.
Thank you, Judge. Let me rephrase the question, Dr. Miller. Around the same time period that the defendant shared with you that she parked William McGuire's car at the Flamingo Motel, did she mention to you any articles or comment on any articles printed in the media regarding a security tape recovered from the hotel?
Yes, we talked about an article that mentioned her, or actually mentioned someone being seen on a videotape moving Bill's car, and the paper had mentioned that it was a male, and I just asked her how they could confuse her with a male, and she said she didn't know, but she said for sure it was her that moved Bill's car.
Now, sir, you also mentioned that she told you that she found cell phones in the car and she threw them out.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, you also mentioned to the jury that sometime in the future, after May of 2004, the defendant shared with you that she had gone furniture shopping in Delaware.
That was much later. I mean, that was after she shared with me about the gun, purchasing the gun.
Okay. Well, then let's do it chronologically. Can you describe to the jury how and when did she tell you about the purchase of the gun?
The day that she told me about the trip to Atlantic City, she also said there was one other thing that she needed to share with me, but she wasn't going to do that until this was all over. And it was something that she wanted me to know, but she couldn't tell me for my protection.
And please continue. What happened with
Well,
that?
of course, the curiosity was eating away at me, and I would, on a regular basis, keep peppering questions away at her. What is this? What are you talking about? What is this other item that you can't tell me? And she would refuse. And basically, at one point I confronted her to the point where I said, I need to know. You need to tell me what this other item is. And she told me that she had bought a gun somewhere around the week before they were closing on the house, that her and Bill had long discussions about this, that they were moving out to the country, and that Bill wanted a firearm to protect the family. I told her she'd never mentioned anything about this before. And she said it's a discussion that they also had with Celine and Alex, that they own guns, that they had guns in their household to protect their family, and that's something that Bill wanted her to do. And she listed, various examples of other things she's done in the past that were at Bill's request that got her in trouble.
And, sir, did she describe in any detail the gun that she purchased?
I believe she told me it was a .38 and that she did buy ammunition for it.
And by ammunition, you mean bullets?
Yes, ma'am.
She specifically told you that?
I can't recall if she said ammunition or bullets.
But she said one or the other.
Yes, ma'am.
And can you approximate for the jury about when the defendant told you about the gun?
This had to be going into July at this point.
July of 2004?
Yes, ma'am.
And then eventually, you said she also told you about furniture shopping in Delaware?
Well, she had also mentioned that during this entire time, she was only outside the state of New Jersey once, that she had made a trip to Delaware around that time to do furniture shopping. She said that there was an area in Delaware that she would go shopping where there was no sales tax and there was furniture outlets, that she wanted to replace the furniture that her and Bill had bought together.
And did she tell you when the shopping trip was?
No.
And, sir, can you approximate for the jury about when the Delaware furniture shopping trip, when that conversation was?
That was probably 2 or 3 weeks after I knew about the gun.
So are we still in the summer months of 2004?
Yes, I would have to estimate that.
Now, sir, I'd like to go back again to May of 2004. You described to the jury previously that the defendant had to be out of her apartment by the end of May 2004.
Yes, ma'am.
Did she ever move into the house that she purchased with her husband?
No, she did not.
And, sir, regarding, well, let me ask you, did she eventually move out of the Woodbridge apartment?
Yes, she did.
In the weeks prior to the official moving day at the end of May that you described as being on Memorial Day weekend, did there come a time when you went to that Woodbridge apartment to assist the defendant with furniture moving or
Yes, she
something?
had said one of the nurses was interested in buying a TV hutch. It was a two-piece of furniture. I believe there were some drawers and cabinets on the bottom half and then a big TV cabinet on the top. And it was a large TV, like a 35-inch TV, and she wanted to know if I could stop by and move that TV out of there so they can come by later and take the furniture out of the apartment.
And could you approximate, I'm sorry, did you in fact do that?
Yes,
you?
I did.
Okay, and can you approximate for the jury about how long in advance of the move did you do that?
1 or 2 weeks.
And when you were there, was Lori Thomas in the apartment?
No, she was not.
And you know Lori Thomas, correct,
Yes, I do.
sir? And who, if anyone, was in the apartment with you?
Celine was in the apartment with Melanie when I arrived.
And, sir, did you go upstairs in the apartment or remain downstairs?
I don't remember going upstairs. I may have, but I don't remember specifically.
And, sir, do you recall there being any odor in the apartment?
No, I did not.
Now, you took apart the furniture that you described?
I took the TV out, and I believe, yes, there was a metal latch in the back that kept the two parts together.
And while you were there, sir, Can you describe for the jury what Melanie, what the defendant and Celine were doing?
I believe they were just packing things up, cleaning the apartment, getting ready for the move.
And sir, did you see what they were packing items into?
At that point, no, I did not.
And at that particular time when you were there doing the furniture, do you know what items they were sorting through?
No, I was not aware of what items they were sorting through.
Now, during the course from the time you were there until the moving day, were there any other occasions that you were in that Woodbridge apartment?
I believe there was one other occasion I had stopped by and helped take apart. They had bunk beds. The boys had bunk beds.
And that was
disassemble them.
upstairs?
Yes.
And, sir, then there was the moving day, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And during that time, through the moving day, was it described to you what the defendant and Celine were doing regarding Bill's belongings?
No. I noticed that there were, in one of the rooms, there were several large garbage bags that were in one of the rooms, and they told me that's where Bill's clothes had been stored.
Did there come a time, either before or after the move, where the defendant told you that she had found something among Bill's belongings that she showed you?
She had told me that her and Celine were going through Bill's personal belongings, and they found some pills. They found a pair of his underwear that appeared to be soiled. She didn't know what the pills were, but it was in his personal effects.
And when you say soiled, sir, what do you mean?
I don't know. That's what she had told me.
There was no discussion about what they were soiled with?
No, ma'am.
Did she describe where she found these soiled underwear?
I believe it was in the closet, but I could be mistaken.
And these pills, did she describe to you where they were found?
He had some area where he, I guess, kept his, ring and watch and stuff like that in that area on his
And
dresser.
did you say his ring, sir?
Wherever he kept his jewelry
Uh-huh.
and his watch on his dresser.
Sir, did you ever see his jewelry?
No, I did not.
And did you see the defendant recover these pills?
No, I did not.
So you know this only because she told you, correct?
Correct.
And, sir, did you examine the pills?
Yeah, when we were at work, she had given them to me, and I pulled out a PDR and found out one of them was morphine sulfate.
Can you describe what a PDR is?
Physician's desk reference. It's a very large book that basically describes every single medication that can be prescribed, and also has a picture of every pill that's manufactured.
Mm-hmm. And, sir, prior to the closing, had the defendant been complaining about her husband?
She said that he had been behaving more and more erratically. He had some hallucinations, very on and off behavior, like bipolar behavior, where he would be working through the night on the computer and then sleep long periods of time.
Now, sir, the day of the move, can you describe to the jury what, if anything, you did to assist the defendant in the move?
Well, Melanie had reserved a U-Haul truck for the move on that Saturday, and she had called several locations throughout New Jersey, and apparently the only one that had a truck for rental for the size that she wanted was in Flemington, New Jersey. And she put the truck rental on her credit card. And before we had known Bill had died, I was planning to bring the truck out there, help with the move, and then take the truck back.
And after finding out Bill had died, he had been killed, what?
I had several discussions with Charla, and she didn't want me to go, and I said that I'd given my word that I was going to help, and I thought at this time, with her husband just being found dead, that this is where, she needed a friend the most. And she said when she told her stepfather that her stepfather cried when she found out that I was still going to help out with the move.
And did you help out with the move, sir?
Yeah, on Friday I went and got the rental truck. They would not release it unless they swiped my credit card, so they took a credit card swipe of my card. I drove the truck back to my house. It sat there overnight, and I got up on Saturday morning and drove to the apartment.
And was the defendant present at the move?
No, she was not.
Who was there, if you recall?
Mr. Caparro was there, and her mother was there, Alex, and then Alex had his construction workers there, his employees.
Or friends?
Friends, yeah.
Did you know specifically whether they were construction workers or relatives or friends?
I did not know who each of them were, no.
But Alex Trevisas brought other men with him to help
Yes, he did.
move?
And they also had two, fairly large pickup trucks as well, in addition to the truck.
And were you moving the defendant's belongings from the Woodbridge apartment to another home or somewhere else?
At that point, she didn't have any other apartment to move into, and she was staying with her parents in Barnegat, so we moved it to a storage facility.
And the items that were moved, did they include furniture, sir?
Yes, the entire apartment was moved.
And could you approximate for the jury, if you recall, sir, about the size of the storage unit?
20 feet deep, maybe 15 feet wide. I mean, it was a good-sized unit.
Okay. Now, sir, the defendant, where was she living after she moved out of the Woodbridge apartment?
Well, she stayed those nights at the Red Roof Inn, and then after that, she was living with her parents in Barnegat.
And did there come a time when she rented another apartment?
Yes, ma'am.
And after the apartment, did she move again?
After her new apartment?
Yes.
Yes, I believe she bought a house in brick and moved into the house in brick.
Sir, did there come a time when you were approached by the New Jersey State Police Major Crime Unit?
Yes.
Excuse me, Ms. Precios, that sounds like a good spot that we can take the morning recess at
Yes,
this
sir.
point. Jury's been sitting for a while, so let's take the morning recess, and court will recess until 10:50. Please be seated. Ms. Precioso, please continue with the examination of Dr. Miller.
Thank you, Judge. Dr. Miller, before we move on to when the detectives first approached you, you mentioned that at the move, the Capareros were there.
Yes, ma'am.
And who are the Capareros to the defendant, sir?
Her mother and stepfather,
And do you know her stepfather's name?
Michael Caparero.
Are you familiar with the relationship that the defendant had with Michael Caparero?
I think they have a very close relationship. She told me growing up that he was pretty strict on her and, wanted her to be home at a certain time. He would check to make sure she was dressed appropriately before going out in the evening. And she was very resentful during the teenage years, but I think as she matured, she realized that he was really becoming a true father figure for her.
So would I be correct in describing their relationship as close?
Yeah, I would say their relationship is very close.
Did the defendant discuss with you Michael Caparero's relationship to Atlantic City?
Yeah, she said that her stepfather had gambled quite a bit. They would go down Atlantic City and enter into drawings where you had to actually be present to win the drawing. But they would go down there either for entertainment or dinner or gambling.
And you know this through the defendant,
Yes.
correct? Okay. Now, where we left off right before the break, I had asked you if there came a time when you were approached by the New Jersey State Police, members of the Major Crime Unit. Did that happen, sir?
Yes, it did.
And when they initially approached you, where were you?
I was leaving work. I was exiting. We were on the second floor. I was going down the stairwell to the first floor when two of the detectives entered from the second floor, and then two were actually coming up from the first floor. And they sort of cornered me in the stairwell.
And from the stairwell, did you go somewhere else?
Yeah, they basically had me follow them to the police barracks in Somerset, New Jersey.
And when you said they had you follow them, did one of them drive your car, or did you drive?
No, I drove my car. We drove to a party store, and they just wanted to make sure we weren't being followed. And then from that area, we drove back to the police station.
And prior to that first meeting with the New Jersey State Police, sir, had you retained a lawyer regarding this investigation?
Yes, I had talked to Mr. Mike Rogers as a criminal attorney.
And, sir, who, if anyone, recommended that you get an attorney?
Well, when it became obvious that the investigation was moving to New Jersey, that they were looking at Melanie as being a prime suspect, that Melanie had told all of us that her lawyer was suggesting that we all have representation at that point.
And how was it that you found Mike Rogers?
Melanie's attorney at that time was Mike Pappas, and I guess Mike Pappas and Mike Rogers were colleagues and friends, and that's who recommended Mike Rogers to me.
And, sir, prior to the state police approaching you first at your office, as you described, had you met with Mike Rogers?
I did. On one occasion, I met with him. I told him the situation. He said, be assured they're going to meet with you, they're going to want to speak with you, and when they do, just give me a call and we'll meet with them. And I said, fine.
And that night when you went, or that evening or late afternoon, I apologize for not being exact with the time, when you followed those state police detectives to the Somerville station, did you speak with them that night or request your attorney?
I had requested that my attorney be present, and I would be glad to speak with them as soon as my attorney could. And they couldn't reach him. One of the detectives actually knew the attorney and reached him at home and put me on the phone with him. His advice was not to speak with the police.
What the attorney's advice was to him.
It's his privilege, he can waive it.
It's hearsay, Your Honor. It's a hearsay objection, sir.
Well, all right. It is hearsay.
Your Honor, it's being offered just to show the sequence of events here rather than the truth of the matter asserted.
I'll rephrase the question then.
Sir, did you speak to your attorney?
Yes, I did, and he recommended that I have him present for questioning.
And did you set up a meeting time in the future to meet with state police detectives?
Yes, I believe Ms. Rogers was in contact with you or your office and made arrangements for us to meet.
And, sir, after you had spoken to Mr. Rogers on the telephone, did you soon thereafter leave the Somerville
Yes, I
station?
did. They handed me a subpoena for a grand jury appearance and let me go home.
And, sir, after you got home, what did you do?
I did my evening routine, helped with the kids get into bed and made sure they were asleep, and then I had to tell Charlotte
Had to tell Charlotte what, sir?
that I was having an affair and that they're investigating the murder of Bill McGuire. And, I mean, that's basically the gist of it, without becoming emotional.
And, sir, then, did there come a time when you did meet with state police detectives and members of law enforcement?
Yes.
And, sir, thereafter you mentioned getting a grand jury subpoena. Did you testify in the grand jury?
I believe I testified 3 times in front of the grand jury, yes.
So in addition to meeting with law enforcement, you also testified in the grand
Yeah,
jury?
I think there were 3 meetings with law enforcement, with my attorney present, and then there were 3 separate meetings with the grand jury.
And, sir, currently, have you met with law enforcement in preparation for your testimony
Yes, I
today?
have.
And did you have counsel representing you at those meetings?
No, ma'am, I've not.
Dr. Miller, in preparation for the meeting, the first meeting with law enforcement, with your attorney present, did you become familiar with the term proffer letter?
Yes, Mr. Rogers explained what a proffer agreement was. He basically said, I still had to go and tell the truth. If I was involved with the crime, I'd still be arrested and charged with the crime. But he thought that the proffer agreement is what he
I'm going to
recommended.
object to this hearsay.
Yeah, Dr. Miller, let's not get into what your lawyer told you.
Okay.
Sir, I'm handing you 2 two-page exhibits. One is labeled States 1042A. The second is 1042B. 1042A is dated March 17th, 2005. And 1042B is dated March 30th, 2005. Sir, do you recognize both of those documents?
Yes, I do.
And, sir, are those the proffer letters that were executed for your first 2 meetings with law enforcement?
Yes, they were.
And, sir, those letters, they are the actual letters, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, at this time, the state would offer both of those exhibits into evidence.
No objection, sir.
All right, S1042A and 1042B will be admitted into evidence without objection.
And, Your Honor, with the court's permission, I'd like to display them for the jury.
Counsel?
No objection.
All right.
Starting with 1042A. And the record should reflect that the body of the letter on the first page is being displayed to the jury. Dr. Miller, I'd ask you just to look along with me. And am I correct, sir, that the basic tenet of the letter is that you must give truthful information, and if you give truthful information, nothing that you say would be used against you, but if you don't tell the truth, then it could all be used against you, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And, sir, this is the second page of States 1042A. And, sir, is this your signature here?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
And the record should reflect that I'm displaying 104B now to the jury, showing the heading. And Mr. Rogers, again, is your attorney, correct, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
And am I correct, sir, that except for the first paragraph, which basically says that the original agreement from March 18th is extended, the remainder of the language is the same?
Yes, ma'am.
And, sir, your signature is here on the bottom?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, sir, who was it that suggested to you that a proffer letter, these proffer letters be executed?
It was my attorney.
And, Sir, at the time that the proffer letters were executed, had you known Mike Rogers, for your attorney, for a long period of time?
No, ma'am. I had a meeting with him that lasted 15 minutes.
And, sir, subsequent to these proffer letters, were you ever offered immunity of any sort by the state of New Jersey?
Absolutely not.
And as you sit here today, sir, do you have any immunity given to you by the state of New Jersey?
None whatsoever.
Now, sir, I'd like to go back again to those first times that you met with law enforcement and when you testified in the grand jury initially. Can you describe to the jury your level of cooperation with the state of New Jersey?
Objection.
Objection sustained. Question is vague.
Sir, in the beginning when you first met with law enforcement, did you lay out absolutely everything that you know about this defendant as it relates to the homicide of William McGuire?
No, I did not.
Can you describe to the jury your level of cooperation?
Well,
Excuse me. The objection was sustained, Ms. Precioso. Please rephrase the question so it is more specific.
Dr. Miller, can you describe at the beginning when state police approached you in those initial meetings, what was going on in your life at that time?
well, I was having an affair, and one evening, my whole life turned upside down. And, you know, I was looking at losing my job, losing my wife, losing my kids, and being involved in a murder investigation. So it was very difficult. I mean, I had to tell my wife. I didn't know how her reaction was going to be. And I was trying to cooperate with the police and provide them with what information that they wanted at the time. But I think it was just a process that I couldn't get out all the information that I knew in one meeting or two meetings or three meetings with them. It took a long time.
And sir, at that time, in the beginning, after investigators approached you, how were you feeling about the defendant at that time?
I was still very much in love with her, and I still believed that she had nothing to do with this.
Sir, you said to the jury that your life was turned upside down. How was it changed?
Well, I
Ms.
had to.
Precioso, the question's already been asked and answered. Can we move ahead a little bit, please?
Now, sir, as part of your meeting with state police, did there come a time when you agreed to consensually record a conversation with the defendant?
Yes, I did.
And sir, do you recall when that was?
I don't remember the exact date, no.
One moment. Now, Dr. Miller, I'd like to call your attention specifically to May 31st, 2005. Do you know, sir, were you scheduled to testify in the grand jury that date?
Yes, I was.
And, sir, is that the date that you agreed to consensually record the defendant?
Yes, it was.
One moment, Judge. Sir, I'm handing you State's Exhibit 878. Sir, are you familiar with that disc I've just handed you?
Yes, I am.
And have you reviewed it prior to your testimony today?
Yes, I have.
And how do you know that that's the disc that you reviewed?
I put my initials on it.
And sir, does that CD fairly and accurately depict 2 consensual recordings that were made with you speaking to the defendant?
Yes, it does.
Similarly, sir, sir, I'm handing you 2 transcripts. Have you reviewed those transcripts and compared them to the recording that's on the disc?
Yes, I did.
And do the transcripts fairly and accurately reflect what's on those 2 discs?
Yes, ma'am, they do.
Your Honor, at this time, the state would offer the disc into evidence and would request that the court permit the transcripts to be distributed to the jury for assistance in listening to the evidence contained on the disc.
No problem. No
Counsel?
objection.
All right, then, S-878 will be admitted into evidence, and the transcripts that correspond with those recorded conversations can be utilized by the jury to assist them in listening to the conversations.
Your Honor, may I suggest a 5-minute break, just so we can make sure the speakers are turned on and we're
Okay.
set?
All right, members of the jury, we'll just take a 5-minute break while we get set up.
Wait 1 second. Dr. Miller, I would ask you, and again, sir, just to make sure you're on the right transcript, this one. Sir, the first consensual recording, had you told the defendant where you were supposed to be that day that the consensual was recorded?
Yes, I was supposed to be appearing before the grand jury.
So you had told the defendant you were you were going to the grand jury to testify, sir?
That's correct.
And it was, where specifically were you when this consensual was recorded?
I was in a state vehicle. We were driving around Trenton.
And who is we, sir?
Myself, Detective Dalrymple, and Detective Machuca.
Ms. Grace, if you would.
Yeah, that'd be good too. All the cell phones are off? Oh, shit. Oh, so, all right. Hi Denise, it's Dr. Miller. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Can you patch me through to Melanie, please?
Yes, hold on just a second.
Thanks.
MA has offices in Englewood, Morristown, Somerset, and West Orange to conveniently serve patients in the tri-state area. Since timing is critical for successful fertility treatment, our is open 360. All right, how are you?
I'm done. On my way home.
Okay.
Can you call me back?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Why don't you go somewhere and give me a call back?
All right, will do.
All right,
Bye.
all right, bye-bye. So she should go to a different phone and she should call me back. All right. I turned it on. Understood. Hello?
What's up?
Hey. Well, so I'm done for the day. I saw Paul. They were just bringing him in. So they had me there for about 2 hours. Okay. what's going on with you.
Are you done?
No, they said they still want me to come back again.
Yes.
No. I don't know how much more I can take of this. I'm getting to thinking that they really, thinking that I'm involved. They talked about the gun, and that the day that you bought the gun, that we were on the phone for, 100 minutes or something. And that, I know where the gun is, et cetera, et cetera. I already told them that the gun was gone from the lockbox. One other thing too. But anyways,
What's that?
the trip to Delaware. They want to know what you're going there for and what furniture stores you're looking for there, and seem to believe that you went with your father. So, I thought you went by yourself, and that's what I told him. And those are the two things they were pounding me on, and they're like, well, do you know where the gun is? Can you produce the gun? And have you ever seen the gun? All these questions all over again. So, they want to know, do you have the gun? She's never told me if she's had the gun. I just don't know how much more I can take of it. How are the kids doing? Are you there?
Yeah.
What's that?
When are you supposed to go back?
They haven't told me. And trial was on for the 14th, and we're trying to get that moved to the 21st. So,
So it's nothing new, it's just shit over.
pretty much. Yeah, pretty much.
Can you honestly say that they asked you anything that they haven't asked you before?
No.
Maybe they suggested a different way or, whatever, but it's not like there's anything new coming up here.
No, but they still are, implying that I know more than I'm telling them, and that somehow I'm involved.
Well, they can imply that until the cows come home, but you and Blaine are telling them the same thing. There may be nuances and details here and there, but, the basic gist of the story is the same.
Right. Well, I keep telling them the same thing, but, the gun is gone, right?
I'm sorry I told you because you're the only one who knew.
If explain me about it.
Had it been gone? No. Blaine doesn't want to talk about it.
What's that?
Blaine doesn't want to talk about it.
Talk about the gun, you mean?
In general, everything.
Oh. Okay. I sort of wish it was there so they could prove that it wasn't the gun.
No, below. I wish it was there for so many reasons I can't even begin to count.
Right.
That's odd.
Anyways, so, but that's what's going on today.
Did Paul after you? I thought Richard was going to be right there.
No, I saw Paul. I don't know who went in. The door was already shut, but Paul was using the bathroom or something. So I guess they have them for the rest of the day. But, anyways, how's your day going? Well, what's going on there?
Bad day?
What?
No. It's jury day.
Yeah.
So it's always an anxiety.
I mean, when you went to Delaware, did you stop in any stores? Did anyone see you?
Yeah, I mean, not that I would recall. I have a list, or Mike, I should say, has a list of all the stores,
Right.
that I was going to go to, and phone numbers, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I have a lengthy list, and there's a big area there, that it's like, it's all furniture warehouses and furniture stores and stuff like that, so I'm not pulling that out of my head.
Right.
It's not like I said, oh, I went, blue scarf shopping,
Yeah, they also said that they saw your car on the bridge. The bridge you take across to Delaware. And why would they think your father went along? I
They
mean,
said they saw my car coming, getting back from Delaware.
right. Exactly. So, but you're certain.
I don't know why they would do my father. But you know what? If they could see, I'm sure they see my plate or whatever.
Right. I don't know if I could see two people in the car or one. I don't know.
I guess I was coming back
Was-
that morning.
Was he working that day? I mean,
I have no idea.
but Mike told you because Mike doesn't know that you know about the gun, right?
I don't even remember it.
No, I mean, you would have told.
I didn't even know we were in
Right.
Everybody
Well,
pushed.
they believe that you have it stashed somewhere.
Which is asinine.
Right. But, I know what you told me. You said that you didn't want to report the gun stolen because of if it was missing. Because you put it down in the TRO that he didn't have a gun, right?
Well, because he didn't, to my knowledge.
Right. Well, and also you could face weapons charges for transferring across state lines.
Of course.
But that's what they're
You know what?
hammering me on.
But you know what? It's crazy because they think the second person was with me in the car and AC.
Where?
When I moved his car.
Oh, they thought there was two people?
Yeah. Or he's the one who told me that.
Right. Well, they did tell me that. That was the last grand jury.
Yeah. And believe me when I tell you, there was nobody else in that fucking car with me. I'm like, he's lost.
Right.
So I think that they're, when it comes to like the mythical second person, I think they're talking shit.
Right. don't know. I think they're either going to come down on me or come down on your father. So it's going to be one or the other. That was, the one to help you do the murder.
Well, if you were at work all weekend, you were at work on Monday, I guess it ain't gonna be you. Or Tuesday, or whatever.
No, but they already said that the only one that can vouch for my whereabouts on the night of the 28th is my wife. So they say, without Charlotte, I could have been there helping you.
Yeah, well, guess what?
So, but, I don't know. It just never ends.
And it's really funny that, now my car on the Delaware Memorial Bridge has come up.
Yeah, they let me know that one too. They let me know that they saw your car on the bridge. So they're giving me little hints.
Yeah, but me coming over the Delaware Memorial Bridge means nothing.
I know.
It means I was coming back from Delaware. You know what I mean?
Right.
People I went to Delaware, I guess that's pretty consistent with what I said.
Well, the other thing too is if they had me coming back, right? There should be a time span between both ways, right?
I don't know.
How much time did you spend in Delaware?
Yeah, but I didn't go down the same way that I came back.
Okay. So you came back on the bridge the one way.
I don't remember exactly how I went until I came back. I went down a different way because I was leaving from my parents' house, and I came back up differently.
Well, honestly, I told him I didn't really remember much about you telling me about going to Delaware. And I really remember that it was still before he was found. So I just didn't.
By like a day.
Right. So,
That was Tuesday. He was found on Wednesday.
right.
I'm sure they can tell how long that body's been in the water.
Right. That's true. But, I'm going to head to Mike's office, and he wants to debrief me and then also get me set up for return. Hopefully, we're going to try to get it off at the 14th. So, do you want me to try to get a hold of you later?
Yeah, what are you doing?
No, I'll probably stop in the office and do my emails and all kind of that. All right. It's not going to. They're going to keep going. And they're never stopping. And they don't care, who they take down, whether it's me or the partner with the practice. They're going to keep coming.
What ticket did he, So they said they have my car on the Delaware Memorial Bridge back from Delaware.
I honestly don't remember what they said going there or coming back, but your car was seen on the bridge. And they didn't tell me time or what direction it was. I just assumed that you went back and forth on the bridge. When they, it's like they just give me little tidbits during the grand jury, and
You do it.
right. So I do it. All right. Well, let me try to call you later. Hang in there. Thank you. All right, bye-bye.
May I continue, Judge?
Yes.
Dr. Miller, I'd like to ask you, on page 4 of the transcript, line 160, when you're talking about Paul, who is Paul, sir?
Paul Berg, one of the partners at RMA.
And were the other partners at RMA present at the grand jury that day?
I'm not sure if they were. The only person I saw was Paul.
Okay. Now that second transcript. Judge, may I ask just a few questions before we play it? Dr. Miller, this second transcript that starts with the heading from Detective Cronenfeld, was this later the same day?
Yes, it was.
And who was present with you when this was done?
I think it was Detective Cronenfeld and Detective Machuca.
And do you recall approximately how much later it was?
3 hours.
Okay. With that, Ms. Grace?
This is Detective Sergeant Jeff Cronenfeld, Kronen, Efferson Frank, ELD, badge 4811, with the New Jersey State Police Major Crime Unit. This is in reference to consensual recordings between Brad Miller and Melanie McGuire. Consensual number Charlie 57 2005S, authorized by AAG David Brody. We will attempt to contact Melanie McGuire via telephone at RMA Associates in Morristown, New Jersey. It is May 31st, 2005. This is Detective Sergeant Jeff Cronenfeld. It is now 2:30 p.m., May 31st, 2005. We anticipate Brad Miller making an outgoing call to RMA Associates in Morristown, 973-656-2815 to Melanie McGuire. We anticipate her calling Brad Miller back at 732-537-4310, and that would be the RMA Associates located in Somerset, New Jersey. The callback number is 732-537-4310.
Oh.
Hey.
Hi.
I'm back. Can you go to a comfort room? Okay.
10.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye. All right, she's supposed to call back.
Brad Miller making contact with Melanie McGuire. We are anticipating a call back from Melanie McGuire. Hello.
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
All right, how about you?
I don't know. I mean, it's just not stopping. Are you doing all right?
Pretty much sick to my stomach all day.
I tried to get a hold of you as soon as I could. But, one thing I didn't want to tell you on the cell phone, but they also let me know the grand jury was the Easy Pass thing. They said you had tried to dispute a Easy Pass charge, and then someone else called, and they said that they wanted to infer that that was me.
Somebody else called.
On your behalf.
That's a lie. Can they lie to the grand jury?
I don't know, but I'm just telling you that, Patty's question was, so you didn't make that call to Easy Pass? I go, no. I said I didn't even know that, you had made a call to Easy Pass, dispute any charges.
That's a lie.
Well, you know what, this is what I'm going through, and I just don't know how much more of this I can take. Between that and they were drilling me on the gun again, and the trip to Delaware. I mean, those are really the primary, 3 years.
I'm sitting there thinking, not for anything, but, okay, I mean, whatever. Me on the bridge to Delaware or from Delaware, or, whatever, however. I'm sitting there thinking, it's kind of funny that this is the first time they've brought that up.
Yeah, I know.
And they've never brought it up to anybody. And you mean to tell me that the Delaware Memorial Bridge Authority has tape from a year ago?
Yeah.
And then I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, no, they can't lie to a grand jury. Or lie in front of a grand jury.
Yeah, I don't know. But, they're basically, saying that, I really don't have an alibi the 28th, just because of, Charlotte's the only one that can vouch for me.
Well, the burden of proof is on them to put you anywhere near me on the 28th.
I don't know. I still think that they're targeting me and
But don't you have a non-target statement?
I don't think that matters. If they think that I've, lied to them and not told them the truth, then that goes out the window.
Right, but if you had a non-target statement, short of pulling the trigger, couldn't you have basically told them just about anything?
That's what I understand, yeah. That's what I understand.
It just doesn't make sense.
But I, told them that I know, everything that I know about what you told me. But then they were saying, we talked almost 130 minutes on the day you bought the gun. You talked to me right before you bought the gun. You talked to me after you bought the gun. And they just find it unbelievable that you didn't tell me that you went to buy this gun.
Oh, and in between I was also talking to my husband on the phone. Did they say that too?
Well, they said something about that he was trying to make arrangements to close in the house at that time. But most of the time was spent talking between the two of us.
As it is, it's nothing for us to sit talk 130 minutes on any given day.
True.
But they make it sound like, you know what I mean? That's the slant they put on it.
I know. I can't explain where they're going and what they're trying to do. I'm just telling you. And that, they're saying, well, we're going to have you come back. And I don't know what else I can tell them. I mean, I've told them everything that I know. But they're, they just don't.
They want you to break.
Well, there's nothing to break.
No, I realize that, but that's what I'm saying. But they want to break you. professional, if they were any type of judge of character whatsoever, they would know that you don't have it in you to sustain, you know what I mean? Like, if you had anything, you'd have given it to them by now, because you can't take it anymore.
Right. I don't know how much more I can take.
And what did Mike say?
Well, he still thinks that they're fishing, and they're, they certainly think what's that?
Aren't they going to great lengths to fish?
I guess.
Doesn't that seem a little excessive?
I mean, and again, they think that, that either I or you know where the gun is, and they want us to, give up where the gun is. And I did tell them that you went back to the storage facility and looked, and you said the lockbox was empty, and it wasn't there.
I didn't say it was empty because there's something else in it.
Well, what else is in it?
A different box. I told you that. And batteries and other stuff. The box is not empty.
But you looked for the gun, right?
Right. No, the gun is not in there.
Okay. But there's other stuff in there.
Right.
But you don't know where it is.
No, I don't know where it is.
Because the best thing to do would be to turn it over for them and let them, show that it wasn't used in the murder. I mean, there's got to be some way to show that you weren't involved.
Well, they basically don't want to seem to hear any of that. So if they've got footage of me on the Delaware Memorial Bridge, why don't they have it on the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel or whatever?
I don't know.
They want to hear what they want to hear.
Well,
Sorry, honey.
well, I don't know what more to do.
There's nothing, honey, you can't make something up. You can't make something up.
You swear you had nothing to do with this.
Yes.
And your children's lives. Because I'm standing by you.
Yes.
I'm going to lose everything. My kids, my job.
Why are you saying that?
Just because I think this is going to become a public debacle. And I just think I'm just going to get everything taken away. And I'm going to lose you in the process.
You don't know any more, really, than Celine does. Okay, now, granted the affair, why are they doing this to you and not to her?
Because I think they ultimately believe, with the amount of contact that we've had and the closeness that we have, that you've told me things that I haven't told them. And that I'm not being honest with them, not being forthright with them. I mean,
I mean, you know that you're telling them everything you know.
I know that.
And you know where you were those days.
I know. I know I'm innocent of anything. I mean, that isn't the issue. It seems to be that it doesn't matter in this situation unless I can have proof of a patient that I saw or somebody I was with. And they still think that I had some part. Or, at a minimum, know something about it. And like I've told them when the police first interviewed me, I said, I've asked you 1,000 times, did you do it? Did you have anything to do with it? I get the same response. But, I want us to be together. But I just don't see how we're getting through this. I mean, they want to make it believe that we were the ones that did all this and made it happen. You all right?
I don't even know what that is anymore.
I mean, if we do make it through this, I'll just have to take whatever money I can get and get away. I mean, we'll have to just start somewhere else. You're still there. I'm sorry. I don't know what else to do. I'm at my wit's end. So all the things they told me today were a bunch of bullshit too?
Like what?
You calling to dispute a easy pass charge?
I don't remember, but that I called about a couple of different charges on there.
Alright.
But I called. Who else would call for me?
I don't know. But they said there was another call. And the thing about your father going with you to Delaware, that's not true either.
No.
See, I don't know who to believe anymore.
Well, what did they say exactly?
Well, they first asked me, did she tell you she went down to Delaware alone? And I said, yes. I said, that's what I understood. And she goes, well, isn't it true that her father, accompanied her? And I said, no. I said, I didn't know that her father went down there. And then the Easy Pass thing, I said, she called to dispute a charge in the Easy Pass, and then someone else called to dispute the same charge, and was that you? And I told Patty, no, I didn't do that.
How could anybody else?
I don't know.
And then what did they say about the gun? Or the video?
Yeah, that there was videotape of your truck on a Delaware bridge when you went to Delaware.
And that's it.
Well, why did you have to go buy furniture that day? I mean, these other things that I don't really remember what you told me.
Right. Why would I go to Delaware instead of, because there's no sales tax.
Well, yeah, I guess that makes sense. But, if you want us to stick together, I gotta know everything now, before this goes any further. guess. Right?
Not that I can think of.
I mean, it wouldn't be easy, but we could probably make it, you know. After, what's that?
What do you mean?
Well, after a divorce and she gets half the money, I mean, it'd still be something to live on.
Why are you talking about all of this all of a sudden?
I feel like that I want to know one way or the other what's going to happen with us.
I guess I'm confused because you've been the one distressed to me. Do we have to wait and see how everything plays out?
I guess. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I guess we have to see after that everything's done. I don't know.
I mean, why are you talking about a divorce all of a sudden when you weren't before?
Because I'm tired of living this way.
Which way?
Well,
In fairness to her, you could probably attribute a fair amount of your misery to knowing me.
I know. I mean, if you didn't do it, or nobody you know did it, then I'm going to stick with you.
What was the worst of it today? Knowing that you weren't done?
Yeah, I think. I mean,
You just sound much more rattled this time.
No, I think that they're once again,
Targeting you.
yeah, exactly. That, you know, even though I'm the witness, that,
Well, you came out of there feeling that way last time, too. I remember you telling me that. That you felt like it was starting all over again, that you were just as much of a target as you were on day one.
and then, you know, they're asking, you know, again, do I think your father's involved, or Alex?
Alex, I mean, like, are we not done with this?
Well, put it this way, they're of the belief that they think you did it, and that you had, you know, someone helping you. So it's, you know, it's going to be me, your father, or, you know, or Alex, or somewhat, you know, somebody. I mean, that's the gist of it. I don't know.
Talking to Mike didn't calm me down at all.
No, he just, again, says that they're fishing for answers, and he still thinks that this is a bizarre investigation, and the same old stuff they said before, and the same thing he tells me, just continue to answer their questions, tell the truth, etc., etc. So,
I don't know.
what time are you getting out there today?
Do you really leave before 5? Because I have a patient I have to give a shot to.
All right.
I feel awful.
All right. Well, I think I'm going to get out of here. I haven't eaten anything all day.
You should go eat something. Can you eat, do you think?
I'll try to eat something.
So what did Mike say about scheduling?
We're going to request the June 14th to be off so we can go on vacation. And then they were tentatively going to schedule Charlotte for the 21st. And they,
Both of you?
possibly, but they haven't confirmed me yet. But I think they were being rushed today because they wanted to get all the 3 boys in.
What time did they go till in the afternoon?
don't know what the latest is. The latest I've been there is like 2 o'clock, but I think they can go to like 4 or 4:30.
Well, I think they probably also want a recap. I think probably
Right.
want a period of time after the last witness is called to readdress the...
Right.
I mean, I just don't understand if they're out there slinging all of this shit and they're basically trying their version of their case up there.
Right.
Just fucking indict me.
Huh?
Let's just do it.
Mike thinks there's enough too.
Of course there is. My Mike has been telling... Every time I walk in there, he leans across the desk and looks at me and says, "You're going to be indicted."
Right. All right. Well, I will catch up with you tomorrow. I got a pretty full schedule, but I'll call you at some point. Hang in there.
You too. I'm worried about you.
It'll be all right. You know, I think you said, like you said last time, it's just the
Just freshens it
interrogation.
up every time.
All
I don't
right.
know how she's gonna do in there.
It doesn't matter. She doesn't has anything to tell him.
Oh.
All right. Hang in there.
You too.
All right. Bye-bye.
The time is now 2:56 p.m. The consensual recording between Brad Miller and Melanie McGuire is complete.
May I continue, Judge? Dr. Miller, I'd like to address your attention, if you would, sir, to page 8 of the transcript regarding the call that we just heard. Now, on line 315, the defendant says, "I'm thinking I'm confused because you've been the one who stressed to me that we have to wait and see how everything plays out." Can you describe to the jury the conversations regarding between you and the defendant that the defendant is obviously referring to?
Well, we had discussions about, again, divorcing my wife, and with the murder investigation, we both agreed that that wasn't going to, happen at that point. We wanted to see, who was the one responsible for Bill's death.
So when she says, "You're the one who stressed to me we have to wait and see how everything plays out,"
Right. I had never talked about divorcing Charlotte at that point.
and, sir, had you told her that any plans you had would be on hold?
Yes.
Now, sir, in addition to these consensual calls, did you later learn in the time period after the consensual calls were done to today that you were also captured on the wiretap?
Yes.
And, sir, have you had an occasion to review those calls?
Yes, I have.
Judge, I'm handing the witness a disc which is deemed marked states 896. For some reason, the sticker isn't on it, Judge. I apologize. As well as for, I'm sorry, Dr. Miller, session 31 and 27, the transcripts. Would you help me, please? Thank you. And, sir, have you reviewed that that disc containing those 2 session numbers?
Yes, I have.
And have you reviewed the transcripts that go with them?
Yes, I have.
And, sir, those transcripts, are they, do they accurately reflect what's in the call?
I think there was 2 changes that we had made.
And do you recall where, sir? Sir, do you think it was on that those 2 transcripts?
Yes, it was.
Well, sir, if you don't see where it is that you disagree on the transcript, can I suggest that we go ahead and then we point it out to the jury when we get there?
Sure.
And it was a small discrepancy, correct?
Correct.
Your Honor, with that, the state would ask to move those 2 sessions into evidence and be permitted to distribute the transcripts as an aid to the jury.
Could I just have the session numbers, please?
27 and 31.
Okay, no objection, Your Honor.
All right, S-96 will be admitted into evidence without objection, and the state may provide the jury with transcripts to follow along with the recordings.
And Ms. Grace, if you can you please play session 27?
Hello.
No,
Hi. So, what did he have to say?
Mike's in Aruba.
Oh, wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Good time to be on vacation.
Mm-hmm.
So what did Armin think?
Well, he thinks that this is par for the course, that we should have anticipated this. We sort of lulled ourselves into a false sense of,
Mm-hmm.
happiness and bliss, thinking it would all go away because they took so long.
Right. So is he going to try to get hold of Mike, or it's just impossible to?
He's trying. But he said to me, don't go calling everybody, don't tell everybody, just chill out and relax.
So he doesn't think it's that...
No, he said he doesn't like that it's the Woodbridge guy, but then again,
Who's it going to be?
it was the guy from Woodbridge. I told you, the one who was with Virginia when they questioned me.
No, I'm saying, who else would it be to go out to interview them?
Well, who knows? I mean, the Attorney General's office has the investigation, but to me, they would give it to local PD. He's the closest one to Staten Island, and,
Right.
I said, I guess the part that upsets me is that, her being the closest person to me, it's like they're, it feels like they're targeting me if they're, and now obviously that depends on what questions he asks her to.
Right. Well, as always, I'm sure they don't have many other people to target, you know what I mean?
He wants her to, Armin wants her to put it off till next week. That way Mike will be back.
Are they going to get a lawyer?
She doesn't want to. And I'm quite certain that my attorneys are going to want her to.
Why don't they want to get a lawyer?
I'm sure she doesn't want to spend the money.
Doesn't seem that. I mean, it seems a little strange considering that they don't really have any money issues.
She hasn't been working in a year.
I guess.
I would be inclined to let her talk to them too, but this guy is really aggressive.
Mm-hmm. That's when I left the card at the door and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Back when they knew. Did you call your parents yet?
No.
Well, I don't know. It would seem likely that they would have any new evidence at this point of anything happening. It would be whatever they have, they have.
All right, I'll call you back. Bye.
Hello?
Hi.
Hi.
I'm going to have to get going because I got a million people to call. I don't want you sitting there waiting for me.
Okay. Who just called you now?
Celine called, Armin called, my father, you know.
What did Celine have to say again?
I'm not going into it right now. You know, I mean, per Armin's instructions, she called back. She said, you know, if you want to talk to my husband, it's got to be a weekend. He wanted to make it this weekend. She told him no, next weekend. He was not as nice to her the second time, and he told her he's bringing a prosecutor with him. And he said it's standard in all, you know, homicide investigations to bring a prosecutor with you, and Armin thinks that that's bullshit.
Right.
You know, he thinks, I said, well, you know, what does that mean? He said it's probably an intimidation tactic.
Okay. So they're setting up for not this weekend, but the following.
Right.
Okay.
But she's going to get, you know, they're advising that she gets counsel in the meantime, and with that, the meeting will most likely never happen. Because the lawyer's going to get involved and then call them and be like, you know what, my client already gave a statement, there's no way. You know, if you
Right.
want to know anything, you ask me and I'll get the questions answered for you.
Well, is she changing her mind about getting that lawyer?
I pretty much told her that she needs to.
And she's agreeing or understanding?
You know, I said, let's wait till my attorney gets back in town this Friday. We've got some time.
And, your father, you just told him?
Mm-hmm.
What did you say?
No,
Sorry.
I'm too upset to want to chit-chat about this.
Was he upset?
No, but, I mean, I got to call my mother, you know. Yeah, we're all upset. We all thought that this was over.
All right. Talk to you tomorrow. I'm scanning tomorrow morning.
Okay.
I won't call her tonight unless there's something to call you about.
Mhm. Okay.
Okay?
Mhm. All right, I'll talk to you later.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, members of the jury, we're going to take the lunch recess at this time, so we'll resume at 1:30. Please report to the jury assembly room at that time.